Welcome to the Steve Reeve Podcast with the best moments from the past week and a few things that didn't make it to air. Thursday.
Buffalo Bills fans are going to be selling from the infamous and iconic Highmark Stadium urinal troughs, said to be iconic pieces of memorabilia. Get it? Pieces? Terrible. As part of a high-profile auction, particularly for the locals and the fans, the Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, is going to host no more games, and so they're, gutting it and trying to make a little bit of money off of that scenario. So a company called Collectible Exchange, I guess, is overseeing the sale of a whole pile of items, including the wide steel stanky troughs from the men's. And I only bring that up because their CEO just had to go and try and spin the idea. Try to spin the positive on this. He said, there is a connectivity there. You're in a bathroom, it's 10 degrees, aka minus 12 Celsius, and you're kind of sharing some warmth. I don't know if that's the kind of warmth I often enjoy the act of sharing in. To be perfectly clear, never really was a fan of the trough scenario when getting into the bathroom at any kind of event. I'll take it, I will, and I am also grateful for the convenience that my gender takes advantage of, shall we say. But I don't know if I want any part of this. Hey, if you do, keep your eye out for the auction starting maybe in April. Good news for the planet even. Pandas no longer endangered. You might have read this in the early first week of the year. The result of decades of conservation work. I mean, decades and decades. This is stuff that was going on when I was but a lad. They've expanded protected habitat in China. They've increased wild populations. They've reduced poaching, which I don't understand. Yeah, I could never get the drive to hunt a panda. You know what I mean? One of those things. Needing food is one thing. That's not really part of the conversation. That's not what I mean. But to consider, one of the most ridiculous, slow, clumsy, easy to spot, bumbling, not to mention beloved creatures on this planet as like a trophy? You lost me with it, Anyway, it's an absolute win amongst many to start the year, despite, a lot of awful things that are also happening. Got to focus on the good sometimes.
You're listening to the Steve Reeve Podcast from 100.5 Cruz FM.
It's time for Cruz Music News with Steve Reeve.
It's all about trailers for concert films, documentaries, as well as an announcement of a solo project. First off, Paul McCartney in the news because of the Man on the Run documentary. It's going to be coming out February 27th, Prime Video, via Amazon MGM Studios. This is not a Beatles documentary exactly. It's a post-Beatles, during the time of Wings, Linda McCartney era kind of documentary. It's also going to be focusing on the deterioration of his friendship with John Lennon at the time, of course, assassination of Lennon. Very curious to see what is contained within, and the trailer gives you a pretty good idea. There's also a trailer for the concert film coming from 21 Pilots as of this morning. It's titled More Than We Ever Imagined. They say it's being surrounded by a ton of people. It's the closest they get to remembering why they fell in love with music. And it was all recorded as they were down in Mexico, sharing the music with up to 65,000 fans. It's going to be in cinemas next month and also available a little bit later on, of course, on VODs. Red Hot Chili Peppers member Flea is setting out on a solo journey, at least an album called Honora. Has got a lot of collaborations as well, featuring the likes of Tom York, Nick Cave. He's also announced some shows to promote it, though very intimate venues only in North America, UK, and all across Europe. Very interesting. New single as well from that release today called Traffic Lights. That's it for your music news this morning. I'm Steve Reeve. All right. Sorry if I owe you any money, Matthew McConaughey, for uttering those words. I don't know, send a bill or something. I don't have it. But those words are more than 3 decades old, from 1993's Dazed and Confused. But since that movie came out, this man has been haunted by 3 words. The semantics, really one word 3 times. But he's now got it filed as an official trademark. And really the reason for it wasn't what I thought. It was to combat AI and the approved usage of his likeness and his voice in an AI world. Now, actually, the filing took place in 2023 at the very start of the real advancement of the large language models and generative AI, finally approved at the end of last year. Lawyers, because he has multiple, have said that it's really, a test. There's a question mark up in the air. They don't know if this is exactly airtight in protection against his likeness being used. There's already California state law that has now gone into place to also bolster these protections, but they said they got to do something and have something on the books in place to try and combat if anybody is trying to make money or make the guy sound or look bad using clips or generations of him saying, all right, or something to that effect. So, I feel like that's, if any reason is a good one, that's got to be it. It's a weird world we're living in, but people, both gigantic celebrities and the regular folk, have got to protect themselves against being duplicated online.
Friday.
This is the time of year you think about getting away from it all, especially the cold that is returned for today. What about getting away from it all? A company now taking reservations now they're taking reservations for an extremely hopeful project to build a hotel on the moon. Gotta say, not a lot of tourist attractions once you're up there, though. Kind of looks great from here. Once you're there, we've seen some of the footage. It's a little gray. But yeah, whatever. Do what you want to do with your money, I guess. Oh, by the way, speaking of money, the reservation will cost you up to $1 million per guest, proving that being rich doesn't necessarily make someone smart. They have a project timeline claiming to take until 2032 to even be able to accept guests, beginning with some lunar habitats that are inflatable, up to 4 guests, multiple days. Yeah, that's what you want. They do say there will be amenities and fun things to do, like lunar golf. Boy, you can really chip something pretty far with the gravity up there, I have to imagine. But the company is called Gru Space, and hang on. Gru? Wait a minute here. I've heard that name before. I know what's going on here.
Next, we are going to steal.
Pause for effect.
Yeah, okay, all right. So it's a Despicable Me thing. I have to say, I fully reject this idea if it leads in any way to Minions. The 2016 trend that I'm seeing online isn't really seeming to hit here in Wood Buffalo, in the region. Any wonder why? Now, first of all, the initial thing that I think whenever any trend has something to do with, posting photos of yourself 10 years ago alongside photos of you now is that there's some kind of facial recognition scrubbing shenanigans going on, and I don't want any part of it. And nowadays, you got to worry, is AI involved? Is it even worse? But around these parts, people aren't too eager to just drum up the memories of 2016 on a whim, Because, some stuff went down, and people are still feeling messed up about it. And I can absolutely relate to that. That was a no fun scenario to be going through. A month stuck away from home, and then returning back to, home, but uncertainty, and in many cases, loss, and we can't discount that. So yeah, people are going to take part, of course, but many people probably going to be opting out.
Hey Alexa, play the Steve Reeve podcast.
When Queen's Brian May says that they will never be playing Glastonbury Festival because of politics, it's not exactly what you might be thinking right off the bat. It's actually about badgers. Now, there has been a long-standing beef, I guess, between Brian May of Queen, the band as well, on his side, who have never been on the Pyramid stage at the festival because of a disagreement that has gone on for years. They don't like the founder of the festival, Michael Evis's support of badger culling. Back in 2019, they announced that it was a never scenario. They were never going to be in the festival. That was repeated in comments in 2023, and now in 2025, when asked if they're going to be appearing, they've had to reiterate, no, it's not a thing. They don't want to. They have a disagreement. More to that story, of course, but another headline this morning is the celebration of Dave Grohl's birthday. Kind of a big one. The Foo Fighters did a big performance, a benefit show, 1,600 fans able to join, raising money for charity as well. at the Kia Forum in LA. Hope United charity was the nonprofit that was benefiting, but a ton of famous faces in the crowd as well, including friends of the band, Josh Homme, Chad Smith, Beck in there as well. Must have been a very cool show. A frustrating headline, an AI, can't call him artist, an AI entity that has been producing generated music has now managed to get 3 songs in the viral top 50 chart on Spotify, the streaming service for music. Some artists have been fooled into thinking that it is a genuine music, but really, it's a regurgitated copy of everything that came before it and is dumbing down pretty much everything that it touches. Shouldn't be on the platform. Bandcamp just recently announcing they are banning any and all generative AI from theirs. Something to consider. That's it for your music news this morning. A Vault Tech popcorn bucket for pre-order available right now. Movie popcorn buckets, jumping the shark. Now video game popcorn buckets, TV show popcorn buckets. What untapped medium is in need of exploiting? You know, to sell cheap snack containment vessels to the masses. What about music, like albums? Pop some headphones on, start crunching along to your, favorite album with your Slash top hat bucket. Or what about books? Everyone knows melted butter and paper mix so well together. Fingerprints on every single page. That's how you prove you read it, right? Hey, at least the Fallout Vault Tech one is pretty cheap and is made of cheap tin, not cheap plastic as well. Question though, where do you even store all of these things?
Transmission over. Want more Steve? New podcast episodes happen every Friday, or just tune into the Steve Reeve Show. Weekday mornings starting at 5:30 a.m. on 100.5 Cruz FM.